And we're back. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Hawk Sense. I am your host, Alex Nicolau, and welcome to the first official episode of the new Hawk Sense, where we are 100% visual, everybody. I am so excited to be finally bringing this to you guys. I know it has been a little bit since we uploaded since the Shazam movie, which is crazy, but we've been getting all this set up. I got a bunch of new equipment. We have this new XLR mic, and I got this mic right here. Let me move that up there for you guys. But I've been experimenting with all this. Also, we've been just so busy in Red Hawk Media, and it was finals week, and you know how it goes. So hopefully, you can be a little bit more understanding around this time with my absence. But guys, you already know why we're here. You see my shirt. You see these pops. You see that mask. So, yeah, I mean, you see it. I don't gotta do nothing. You see it. So yeah, in this episode, everybody, we're going to be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then we're also going to be touching on a little bit more superhero news towards the end, but a little bit something different we're going to be doing with this Guardians review is we're just going to go straight into it. No spoiler free, because if you have not seen this movie, you are missing out completely. I'm also just trying to, ease myself into the review format with a visual, because I'm I'm usually kind of going with a script, and I'm not trying to put up a whole lot of visuals and stuff and steal content from trailers and stuff. I want to have this podcast be a little bit more formal in that of it's not just like a video, like it's not like a video review. It's a podcast review, right? You guys know what I'm trying to say here, but I love the movie. It was fantastic. I mean, James Gunn has done it once again, and I am not afraid to say that this rivals some of the great trilogies that we have. Two of the great trilogies we have in the MCU, that of Captain America and Spider-Man, and it definitely beats out Spider-Man for sure. I mean, Far From Home really is it's a weak sequel in comparison to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I believe is one of the most superb films in the entire MCU. And then we have Captain America Winter Soldier, which is also fantastic. But, Captain America and the Guardians trilogies, they both kind of clash together, and I'm not ready to make my statement on which one I think is better, but I just know that Guardians trilogy rivals it very, very much so. But this movie was fantastic. It was a love letter to all the Guardians fans out there, and you know what? I'm not afraid to say that everybody is a Guardians fan. James Gunn is easily one of the greatest filmmakers of our time, and there's no debating that. He truly is, and I don't think any other director in the MCU can touch what he has done in the MCU, right? Everybody else has just been kind of following this little formula, and I think it probably does have to do with the fact that he made these characters that nobody has heard of before household names, and that he had this entire formula to himself to create. With like Spider-Man and Captain America, you got to kind of follow what the characters have been doing over the years, because they're more popular, especially with Spider-Man. We have multiple iterations, multiple comics, games, shows, whatever, So what he did with the Guardians is just unmatched, and I don't want to say it's the greatest trilogy, but I think I'm gonna hold off. We got to hold off on that one, because it could be true, but I'm not I'm not ready to make that statement right now. But the plot was, I think, let's talk about my only gripe about the movie. Let's talk about that a little bit first, because I think the only gripe that I had about the movie was that it was a little fast in the beginning with everything happening. I mean, like, we get introduced to, we do get a little bit of his backstory, then we get him walking, then we see Peter drunk, and then right away after, Peter just tells him off, and Nebula lays him in his bed. Adam Warlock just swoops in and almost kills Rocket, so the big baby, the big baby boy Adam Warlock attacks Rocket in an attempt to capture him for the High Evolutionary, which we find out that he actually made the Sovereign, and the Guardians go on this like intense adventure to go find the cure for Rocket's injuries, where they meet up with this new Ravager Gamora, and through all this we get to see, Rocket's backstory, which we're going to talk about after this, and Nebula just describes it as this is quote, worse than what Thanos did to me. Thanos ripped out her eyes, replaced parts of her body, and she thinks that what Rocket went through is worse than what Thanos did to her. So even if we didn't see everything, and oh my god, why did I just think about this? Dude, I want to cry. Yo, don't, oh my god. The first word of English Rocket says is hurts. I was bawling my eyes out. I'm not like I'm getting like flustered right now. Guys, I'm not afraid to admit I was bawling my eyes out. Tears were pouring down my face cuz I mean like you get so emotionally attached to these characters, and it's really like a nod to the filmmaker, because like if you're able to make me care about a raccoon and make me bawl my eyes out because I love this raccoon so much, then you're doing something right. Am I right or am I wrong? So, I mean, like, his backstory was insane. So, I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why you would be here, but, you know, like, the High Evolutionary kidnaps animals, lower life animals or beings from planets, especially Earth, to experiment on and to create the perfect society, perfect world, whatever. And through that, we see multiple animals from Earth being experimented on, including Rocket's walrus friend Teefs, bunny rabbit named Floor, because he likes to sleep on the floor, and he is crazy looking. I feel so bad for that rabbit. And then an otter named Lila, and unfortunately, they all fall. And that was just really sad. I cried then too. But they did his backstory so well. I loved how he was the smartest of all the experiments, even though the 89, all of the 89 level experiments were just all mistakes, and they weren't supposed to be as good as they were. And Rocket was just so smart. He even outsmarted the High Evolutionary himself, and it infuriated him to the point where he wanted to dissect Rocket's brain to figure out why he was so smart, what made him so smart. And that was like, oh my god, like this is such a good backstory. And then it led up to the High Evolutionary getting torn to shreds by Rocket because he killed his friends, and led, Rocket escaped his grasp and got up to a ship and piloted his way out, and then that's that. I mean, like, the difference in this movie between the other two is insane. I mean, I'm sorry, I know I'm skipping back and forth here. It's just like this movie, just like, it's like replaying in my head, and these moments are just popping up, from ear to ear, and it's just like, I need to talk about this, I need to talk about that. You guys know exactly how it is, but the start of the first two movies, we get "Come and Get Your Love," and then we get Mr. Blue Sky, and then we get "Creep" by Radiohead, and it's sad. This is the first one we've gotten where it's sad. Even their introduction in Infinity War was happy, right? So this is it's very different this time around. But James Gunn, bro, is such a genius. He is. I mean, he is the greatest filmmaker of our time. There is like one of the greatest. I'm not gonna put myself in hot water. He's one of the greatest filmmakers of our time. He truly understands film and storytelling. He is just a true genius, and I'm so excited to see what he has in store for DC. And I really hope he does do some more Marvel stuff as well. I mean, I would love to see him do a more grounded character in Marvel, but I just, I don't know. But the reason I'm not doing like a spoiler-free section is because I don't think there's like a review process for this movie, because it's just like so like just there. It's all there for you to see. You just gotta see it, But for breaking it down into like the categories and everything with the action, let's say, phenomenal. Like it was fantastic, and it was in great places, great timing. I don't think there was a dull moment in any of the action, especially in the Orgo Corp area. I mean, that was a great battle scene, and then obviously the final battle scene with all the Guardians, including the Ravager Gamora in the hallway. oh my god, that was fantastic. All of them with their suits on. It was just like, wow. Easily one of the greatest hallway scenes that we have in the MCU, topping Daredevil's first hallway scene for sure. When it comes down to acting, I mean, Bradley Cooper's voice acting as Rocket, I mean, there was a couple other voice actors who voiced Rocket. I mean, there was like I would say the teenager Rocket and the baby Rocket. I mean, the baby Rocket was just sad, and I don't want to think about it because it's gonna make me cry. But the teenage Rocket, I mean, I don't think that was Bradley Cooper. Even if it was, kudos to him. But like when Lila died right in front of him, and the High Evolutionary was staring at Rocket, screaming at him, Rocket didn't do anything but scream. Like he was just because he was so angry and just so like distraught by the loss of his friend and what like the entire 89 crew was, you know, hoping for is just lost. Everything lost. So I mean, like, it was sad, dude. Acting was fantastic. I mean, even the High Evolutionary himself, Chuck Woody Iwuji. Like, I know a lot of people saying like, hey, replace Jonathan Majors with him. I'm like, let's not go that far. We don't know anything yet about that. But he did a fantastic job as his characters. I mean, for sure. I mean, like, with a lot of the characters in the Guardians franchise, very unknown, non-household names, unless you read the comic books. So, I mean, another great iteration of a character. I do think, like, I mean, I think it's because when I said again about my gripe, a little bit fast, you know. But I mean, it's the trilogy. We have a lot to catch up on. I mean, we've seen Adam Warlock in whenever Volume 2 came out, which was, what, 2018, 2017, right? So it's been some time since then. So I mean, it's got to happen. And if they concluded that the Sovereign was made by the High Evolutionary, then come on, you know. With Adam Warlock, let's talk about that. Will Poulter. Now, me and John talked about this earlier this night, about whether or not we liked his portrayal as Adam Warlock, or we felt it was too little, I don't think it was too much. I think we thought it was a little bit too little, and he was just a big, dumb baby boy. I mean, that's just kind of what everybody's saying on Twitter right now. He's just a big, dumb baby, and he is. They made the excuse that he was taken out of his pod or chamber or cocoon too early, and even though he's this big, strong guy, he just doesn't understand, like, social cues or has, like, the most intelligence, which I think people are mad about because that they gave him, like, the Drax treatment type of thing, or the Thor treatment, again, with the big, powerful character. Adam Warlock can wield the Infinity Gauntlet, and he can barely teach this little, what do they call him, blurp, to, you know, sit down, you know, like, the priorities aren't straight when it comes to characters that are just super, super strong, like Thor and Drax, and now Adam Warlock, and they just are just dumb. That's what kind of ruined Thor and Thor Love and Thunder, and that's what people were complaining about Drax, and they addressed in this movie. But I think he did a good job. I think in the future, we just need to do a little bit of character tweaking. I would have liked a little more. I mean, that beginning sequence of him was actually really clean. I liked that a lot when he was first introduced. And it was quick. It was a quick introduction. That's why I thought, like, this is kind of going a little fast here. I mean, we still got, like, 2 hours or so, right? And I think it was actually fantastic. I mean, with VFX and CGI, moving on here, I mean, I don't think they've had any issues in the past. I know they probably put a little bit more attention to detail in big movies like this one because it's the end of the trilogy. The Guardians franchise is such a huge franchise now, especially now that I would say it's their most profitable franchise that they've created. You know, like, Spider-Man's always been around. Marvel's always been around. There's been Iron Man toys. There's been Captain America toys. But, like, they've been pushing Guardians like there's no tomorrow. I mean, we have that new ride in Disney World that was fantastic. My favorite ride in Disney World now. I mean, they changed the Tower of Terror to a Guardians theme in Disneyland. You know, like, they're, like, really capitalizing on all of that Guardian stuff. So I truly believe it's one of their most profitable franchises now. But No major flaws in VFX or CGI. One thing I do want to say is something I did enjoy, and I kind of like. I kind of applaud them for doing this. So back when Groot was the original Groot, they would have a guy in mocap and then give him like the Thanos treatment. I don't know if you guys saw the the behind the scenes for Thanos with Josh Brolin. They would have Josh Brolin wear the mocap, right, and then do it his face like with the mocap suit, but then they have like stilts where the Thanos head would be above his head. They did that in the original movie, right, for Groot, but now in this movie they didn't do that. The only time it was CGI was when he was showing his powers or close-ups or speaking lines, and any other time he was just in the background or walking around, like just in the background. He was a guy in a suit. Like you can even see in the credits, it says Groot voice, Vin Diesel, and then Groot on set, and it would show the actor's name. I apologize, I don't have it right now, but I do like how they did that. If I'm being honest, I wish they would start using practical effects more. We saw how great the Werewolf by Night looked. I mean, in comparison, I'm going to do this again. In comparison for Halloween type figures in Morbius, like I said in that review, it kind of looked like a Snapchat face filter. And then Werewolf by Night just looked amazing because they used practical effects and not just CGI. So, I mean, it was great. Moving on to cinematography. Come on. No one does cinematography better in the MCU than James Gunn. It was fantastic, right? It was fantastic. Now, music. In my opinion, this was the weakest awesome mix out of the trilogy. So mine's going 2, 1, 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my favorite out of the trilogy. No doubt, my favorite Guardians movie, even probably my top 5 MCU movies. So it's no question on that. I mean, the awesome mix, like, it was just fantastic. I'm gonna pull it up here. I don't care. We're doing a podcast. We're not. This isn't no formal video. Let's do Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Mr. Blue Sky, Fox on the Run, Lakeshore Drive, The Chain, Bring It On Home to Me, Southern Nights, Sweet Lord, George Harrison, Brandy, Come a Little Closer, Wham Bam Shangalang, Surrender, Father and Son, Flashlight, Guardians Inferno. Oh my god. Oh, that's with David Hasselhoff, that one. Like, come on. Even Guardians Volume 1. Right? Hold on. There it is. Hooked on a Feeling, Go All the Way, Spirit in the Sky, Moon Age Daydream, Fooled Around and Fell in Love, I'm Not in Love, I Want You Back, Come and Get Your Love, Cherry Bomb, Escape, Oh Oh Child, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Like, great music in the first movie and the second movie, and then in the third movie, I like the music. I just think in comparison, it was just so weak. I mean, Creep was good, Crazy on You's good, Since You've Been Gone, Reasons, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and then we get to Dog Days Are Over. We move to the 2000s, which are great. I mean, we get to another Come and Get Your Love, Badlands, Bruce Springsteen. I think it was a great track, but I just don't think in comparison to 1 or 2, it was better. Volume 2 easily takes the cake. Easily. One thing I do want to talk about are the suits. Brilliant suits. Like, those suits were the most comic accurate. One thing I wish for. Now, I'm sure you're not going to be here still if you haven't seen the movie, but when Peter's face was puffing up, right? I wanted Rocket to press something, a button or something, and the comic accurate Star-Lord helmet came on his head. Like his actual helmet. That's one thing I wanted, right? Didn't happen, and that's okay. Beggars can't be choosers, right? We know that. I mean, the other characters that we see in this movie, I mean, when it comes to Gamora, I think all of us were waiting for Peter and her to reunite. Although it sucks that they didn't, I'm glad. It just brings this closure, not to just everybody's relationships and everybody's, friendships. It brings a closure to the franchise, this group, the Guardians, this version of the Guardians, and it's perfect. It leads them all into different journeys leading to themselves. There was a tweet that I saw earlier today. I mean, it was like, not everything can be perfect. Sometimes people need to see that it's okay to not be okay, and that people just sometimes need to move on. Perfect message. Although it hurts and it leaves a hole in my heart, perfect, right? I love how Mantis is going off to find herself after, being under Ego's foot her entire life, and then having these couple of years with the Guardians. She feels that she has a purpose in this world now. She's going to find it. Nebula and Drax are staying on Nowhere to help out Liv. Don't make me cry right now. It just... Nebula says, "You were meant to be a dad," to Drax. And Drax is tears. And he starts dancing when... Oh my god, the parallel. He says he'll never dance. And then he starts dancing. Oh my... Guys. Oh my god. What a good part. And then we see Gamora going back with the Ravengers, and it hurts to see, but I mean, the future is so uncertain with all these characters. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if they'll reunite. I bet they won't. And if they do, I don't know if James Gunn's going to be involved, and if then, I don't know how good it's going to be. But then we have the credit scenes. Right, I didn't want to talk about some of the other characters because of these credit scenes, because in the mid-credit scene, we see the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody, which we have Rocket Raccoon. Oh my god, how did I forget about that, bro? The final battle with all of them. Am I stupid? Where he goes, name's Rocket Raccoon, and then he just blasts the High Evolutionary in the chest, breaking all of his abilities, and the Guardians take him out. Anyway, I want to go see it again. What day is it? It's Tuesday now. I'm going to see it again this week sometime. But then we have the mid-credit scene where we see the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon being the leader, King Groot, everybody. I loved seeing that. I cannot wait to see more of him in the future. They're for sure gonna bring Groot back. Come on, he's the golden child of the MCU. Sorry, Spider-Man, you really are. But I mean, you're technically Sony's. Then we have Kraglin, we have Cosmo, we have Adam Warlock, and then we have Phyla, who is one of the new recruits for the Guardians. She is one of the Star Kids that were kidnapped by the High Evolutionary. Very interested to see where these new Guardians are headed. I know James Gunn has addressed that he will not be returning for these future films of the new Guardians, and he hopes that the next director doesn't try to copy the style but create their own style within this new team. Marvel fans on Twitter have already concluded to the fact that they're either going to completely copy it or completely butcher it. So we'll just have to see what happens in the future for that. But then the post-credit, when Star-Lord's talking with his grandfather, we get the screen. The legendary Star-Lord will return. On-Earth Adventures with Star-Lord is really... It's not something I expected at all, but I just don't know how it's going to work. Like I said, the future is just so uncertain when it comes to the Guardians now. I mean, I know James Gunn said it doesn't set up anything. I mean, I don't know if he was just talking about like the Kang Dynasty movies and stuff like that, but it's very confusing with the ending here, and I mean, all in all, it was just a fantastic film. The future is uncertain for the Guardians, everybody, but this film was fantastic. So to conclude, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the perfect conclusion to everyone's favorite dysfunctional family. It's filled with heart, action, intensity, suspense, love, growth, and loss. It is truly the perfect ending to James Gunn's perfect trilogy. So for my unofficial review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I am giving it a 9.5 out of 10. The point 5 that it's missing is because I thought it was just a little fast in the beginning. I also want to leave a little message to James Gunn, because I know you're watching, James, out of your busy schedule constructing the DCU, you're watching Hawksins, and I appreciate you for that. But just thank you. You did such a fantastic job with this trilogy, with these characters, and the entire comic book community just adores what you did and applauds you for your dedication and love for this universe and these characters that you've put in this universe. And for someone who strives to work at Marvel Studios one day, it means so much that there is someone like you out there who has so much heart, talent, and dedication to take characters where people didn't know ever existed or ever cared about before and make them some of the most monumental characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So to you, James Gunn, thank you. In some other news, everybody, it looks like we are winding down the list of actors who are going to be playing in the Fantastic Four movie, and I'm not too happy with who you guys picked for our... Why is Adam Driver Mr. Fantastic, bro? Listen, man. Listen, I have nothing against Adam Driver. I think he's a great actor. He is not my Mr. Fantastic, bro. Guys, what did we do? What did you... No, I'm not taking any responsibility for this. What did you guys do? You guys didn't like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that made Marvel think that you didn't like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic? This is your fault. We had peak John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, and you guys complained. Now Mommy and Daddy took it away, and they're giving us Adam Driver. Now, Adam Driver, I have no problem with you, man. You're a great actor. You're just not Mr. Fantastic, in my opinion. There's a lot of misinformation going around, so I'm hoping those rumors are false, because I know we also said it was also said that Margot Robbie is playing Sue Storm and that Mila Kunis was playing the Thing. So I mean, like, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt, but the scoopers that I follow all are saying that Adam Driver is our Mr. Fantastic, and I am prepared to be proven wrong. I have no problem if I am proven wrong and he turns out to be a great Mr. Fantastic, but as of right now, no. I am not on board with it. Hey, listen, I was the same way when Tom Holland took over as Spider-Man, and come on. Come on. So just... Let's stop talking about that. Another thing that's been going on in the world of Hollywood, not just the comic book community, is the WGA writer strike. And it's a very unfortunate thing that's happening right now, but it has put a halt on pre-production for Blade, right? Because of the writer strike. And it has put a pause on production of Deadpool 3. Now, although it's rather sad, and it may push back a little bit on both projects, shut up, be patient. These people's needs need to be met. I mean, they're working for these large companies and not getting compensated the way they should. So everybody just shut up and let's be patient for a little bit, right? A couple more Spider-Man related topics before we wrap things up here, everybody. This past Saturday, the first Saturday of May, is always Free Comic Book Day. And our lovely, lovely, lovely friends at Insomniac gave out a free comic book, which was a prequel to Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Guys, this month we will be getting PlayStation Showcase, in which we're going to be getting hopefully some gameplay, and I know a new trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2. And from here on out, the snowball is just going to keep getting bigger. Marketing is going to start. We're going to get some pre-orders, probably more posters, stuff like that. We're probably going to get a collector's box, hopefully. Some details about the game revealed. So I'm just so excited for that game, everybody. I mean, now, a lot of people are wondering why they held out for so long. I mean, we're months away from this game, and we still have that one teaser we got almost 2 years ago now, right? So, people are wondering, and in my opinion, I think it's because they're hiding huge details about the game. I heard a leak that Harry Osborn really doesn't have the symbiote, and Eddie Brock comes into play, and you're able to play as Venom. There's a bunch of details that I've heard that are just huge about this game, and I'm wondering if they're true. I'm wondering if they're not true, so I'm just gonna leave it up to them this month. I know we have PlayStation Showcase, like I said, so we'll just have to see then. But another thing, guys. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We are now less than a month away from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Everybody, please get excited. As of Monday, May 8th, tickets are on sale, so go get your tickets, everybody. Next podcast, I have a little bit of a surprise for you. Burger King is doing an entire collaboration with Sony and with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and is offering a bunch of menu items Spider-Verse themed, Happy Meal toys, Burger King kids toys and stuff. So we're going to be doing a taste test of every single product that Burger King has for Spider-Verse. Hopefully get some toys there too. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be fun. We'll probably do it next week. But guys, we're less than a month away from the movie, and I'm so excited. We have, we got our character revealed for Scarlet Spider. We have Andy Samberg voicing him. Pretty crazy. Jake Johnson and Haley Steinfeld reviewed this morning, which is May 8th, Monday, that there is going to be a Lego universe, and if there's a Lego universe, what other universes are they tapping into? I know we had rumors of live-action universes. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point with this movie, and I am just so excited, and I cannot wait to do a review on it with you guys. But I think that about covers it for this week's episode, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the first real visual podcast. We're not counting the tier list as real visual episodes of Hawks. I mean, they are visual episodes, but this is the real actual podcast episode. I mean, we're reviewing movies, we're talking about news, so hopefully this was good. If you guys have any tips, leave them in the comments down below, or if you guys want to personally DM them to us, you can follow us and then DM us at our Instagram at redhawk.media. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.